guys. I'm going to try and play a little bit of music for you. Just some simple little notes, possibly when you're holding some of the longer held poses today. We're going to do a sequence that really only requires 1 or 2 blankets. So if you just have 1 blanket, that's fine. If you don't have any blankets at all and you just have towels, you can use towels instead. If you have 2 blankets or 2 towels, I like to pad my yoga mat just to have a little extra padding for my spine. So let's go ahead and grab your blanket that you might have and try to start out with it in this kind of rectangular shape. So I've got a full-size blanket. It's folded in half and then folded again. And then I'm going to make a roll with it. So we're going to do a bunch of poses today using a rolled up blanket or towel. So just starting out, rolling this blanket up nice and tight. And then we're just going to set it off to the side for a few minutes. Let's lay down on our backs to get started. And this practice is going to be really nice and simple to where you might not even need to be looking at the screen. So just follow along, listen along if you can, and let's get into some nice restorative poses. So let's lay down. You can start with your knees bent first. Make sure your head is comfortable on your mat. And just feel this out. Feel your body sinking down into the ground, down into your mat. Let go of tension in the upper body. If you need to, you can even wiggle it out a little. So chin a little away from your chest. Feel some nice opening in the front of your throat. Unlock your jaw. And start to take some nice deep inhales and exhales. If you're feeling congested at all today, which I am with Austin allergies, feel free to breathe in and out through your mouth if you need to. So whatever you need to do to get your breath going. Start out by breathing into the upper chest. Breathing into the upper chest right below the collarbone area. On your exhales, feel your belly gently pulling down. Let your head be heavy. The back of your head is sinking into your mat, sinking into the ground. Your arms are relaxed. And then start to shift your breath down into your lower rib area, the mid and lower rib area. You can even bring your hands there and feel those ribs expanding as you breathe in. And then as you breathe out, gently drawing your belly button back towards your spine, getting all that stale air out of the lungs. Relaxing the jaw. And then bring your hands to your belly. Breathing now down into the belly. Nice and slow. Relaxing your eyes. Your eyes can even just be closed here. Slowly on your next inhale, reach your arms up overhead. Reaching those arms above the head. Your hands can be touching the ground, and then just straighten one leg at a time. Flex your feet back from your ankles. Reach forward through your heels a little bit. Find a nice full body stretch. Still keeping those shoulder blades relaxed down the back. So breathing as you stretch, letting yourself sigh out through the mouth as you relax the arms and the legs. Just relaxing here, your body is nice and still. Let that forehead become smooth. Relax those muscles behind your ears, down through your jawline. Just feeling the ground underneath you. Feeling the support of the ground. And then we'll reach our arms up more actively again. Overhead, flex your feet again from the ankles. We're just going to come into a nice little banana pose here. So keeping your feet flexed back, reaching forward through your heels. Walk your heels over towards the bottom right corner of your mat or off of your mat. And then walk your hands towards the top right corner of your mat. Cross your right ankle over your left. And you can keep your arms either straight or grab opposite elbows, whatever feels better on the shoulders today. So you're feeling this nice, kind of intense side body stretch down here on the left side, maybe even up into left ribs. Keep your neck long, your gaze just up towards the sky. On your exhales, feel your legs getting heavier, your arms getting heavier. Breath is nice and smooth. Breathe down into your left side. Just finding stillness here. Make sure there's no tension in the face. Imagine the body lengthening. Taking your time, just uncross the ankles. Walk your upper body, or move your upper body back to the center of your mat, your arms up overhead, and you can walk your feet back to the center of your mat and just pause there. Let your body sink into your mat again. Feel the difference between the left and the right side. Maybe your left side feels a little bit longer, or you can feel some blood circulating through that left side easier than the right. And let's flex the feet back again. Reach forward through your heels, arms straight up overhead. And slowly walk your heels towards the bottom left corner of your mat or off of your mat. Then we'll walk our hands towards the top left corner. Cross your left ankle over your right. On your next exhale, relax your legs from your glutes. Feel that nice stretch down the right side. Noticing if this side feels more open or if it's tighter. Keep those glutes relaxing. Your breath is nice and smooth. Breathing down into your right side. Maybe you can imagine you're breathing down into those lower ribs on the right side. A few more rounds of breath here. Your body is still supported by the ground underneath you. And then when you're ready, unwind your arms if you were grabbing opposite elbows, uncross your ankles. Start to walk your heels back towards the center of your mat, your arms up overhead. Nice inhale into the upper chest. And sigh out through the mouth as you bring your arms down by your sides. Let's bend one knee at a time. Bring your feet back onto your mat. And from here, let's just walk our feet out wide, let our knees touch. Bring your arms out into a T. Maybe feeling that stretch already in the arms, the shoulders. Try to relax your hands, the backs of your hands sinking into the ground. Let your fingers soften. If you feel tension in the forehead, maybe move your eyebrows up and down once or twice. So your knees are touching, your feet are out wide. We're just going to slowly windshield wiper the legs side to side. So just swaying the knees left to right, same time together. Slowly, you'll find your knees can relax further down towards the ground. It's really nice for the spine here, nice for the hips. Might even be feeling this stretch in the psoas if you're really tight in that area. Arms out into a T, feeling that opening in the chest, stretch in the arms, all the way down to the forearms. Maybe some tingling in the fingers. Well, next time you relax your knees over towards the left side. We're going to try and intensify this if you feel like you want to. Just bring your outside left ankle on top of your right thigh. So it's just adding that little extra pressure there, the weight of your left leg, your left foot on top of your right leg. Feeling this down the right side of the body, down into the right leg. Really feeling that in the hip. Still breathing nice and slow. Glide your lips together. Take a nice swallow, releasing tension in the throat. And then very gently remove that left foot, and we'll sway the knees over towards the right side now. Doing the same thing on the right side. So bringing your outside right ankle to the top of that left leg, a couple inches behind the knee. Relax your forehead. And then slowly release your right foot. Bring it back down. And sway your knees back up. Bring your feet more hips width distance. And we'll bring our arms down by our sides. Relaxing here. Catching your breath. All of your movements nice and slow as we transition through these poses. There's no rush to jump up out of any of them. Let's roll over nice and slow onto our left side. And then push down through your arms, your hands to bring yourself up. We're going to do our first pose with the roll. So we're going to grab our rolled up blanket. We're going to place this up towards from the top end of your mat. So I've got this blanket rolled up all the way. Now, if you are new to this practice, or if you're just feeling super, super tight, you can always decide to unroll the roll and make it a little bit smaller for yourself. That'll be a little bit more gentle. We're gonna do a pose behind the back with this roll in 3 different positions. So we're gonna start out with the roll in the upper back, then we're gonna move it down to the mid back and then into the lower back. We're gonna hold these poses for a few minutes. So to get into the first position, you're gonna come onto your side. So I like to have that roll kind of basically underneath my armpit. You can prop your head up for a second, see how this feels. Now take your time. You might even use your hands under your head for some support. You're gonna roll onto your back slowly. You might be able to shift yourself over. You wanna get that roll evenly placed. Start out with your knees bent. Now I have my hands under my head. I'm gonna scoot my body back a little bit and then slowly let my head relax down on the mat. My arms are gonna either be in cactus arms, so bent to the elbows, or out into a T. Now you're gonna feel the sensation of your head tilting back. So if you have any vertigo or any extreme dizziness, this might not be the best version of this pose for you. If you need some support under your head, you can always tuck a little blanket here under your head to bring your head up a little bit higher, and you're still gonna get that nice opening in the chest. So just keep this in mind. You're in charge here of your body. You know what's right. If this feels totally fine for you, totally fine for your back, and you want to, you can straighten your legs out. You can tilt your head back more and get that extra opening in the front of the throat. Let your lips part, let your teeth part. Let your belly soften. Feel this nice opening in the chest and the shoulders. Now, as you're breathing nice and slow here, try and move through a few rounds of 2-to-1 breathing. So 2-to-1 breathing is just simply trying to make your exhale twice as long as your inhale. So you might try counting to 2 first on your inhale, and then counting to 4 on your exhale. Keeping the breath nice and smooth. If you want to elongate your breath, maybe try counting to 3 on your next inhale, and then counting to 6 on your exhale. Breathing still nice and slow. Forehead is smooth. Throat is relaxed. Let your fingers round. Just listening to your own breath, feeling your breath moving in and out through your mouth. Just a little bit longer here in this first position with this roll. Try relaxing your back. Your legs are nice and heavy. And then slowly, we're just going to start out by bending our knees, bringing our feet onto our mat. Pause here. Keep the roll where it is, and just slowly bring your right arm over towards your left, rolling over onto your left side. You can prop your head up, bringing your right hand under your head, and just hang out here for a few moments. No rush to get up. You might feel a little lightheaded, so take your time. Now we're going to stay low to the ground. We're just going to come up a little bit. We're going to move our roll down maybe about 3 inches from where it was. So you're still on your side. You're going to come back down, and then you're just going to roll back onto your back nice and slow. For me, this middle position with the roll is the most challenging. So just take your time. You can push down through your feet, lift your hips up to help adjust yourself on your mat. So you're lowering your butt back down. You're really getting this intense curve here in the spine. Unlock your jaw. Let that roll massage into the back. I like to keep my knees bent in this position. For me, I actually feel more of that curve in the spine by keeping my knees bent. This just feels like a safer version. If you're used to practicing this a lot though, and you want to straighten the legs out, if that feels right, go for it. It's really like 2 different poses, with the legs straight or with the legs bent. A little bit of a different sensation. The legs straight, feeling a little bit of a traction in the back. That roll is kind of pulling up, and my legs are pulling the torso down. It's kind of nice. The arms can be wherever you want them to be. They can be up overhead or still out into a T or cactus arms. Feel that roll, that rolled up blanket massaging into the back. Feel the spine lengthening. Breath is nice and smooth. So just hanging out here a little longer, being present. nowhere else to be but here on your mat. Noticing the sensations in your body. So bringing your awareness just to your body. Don't worry about what's going on around you. Really trying to visualize yourself here on your mat. Starting to feel the benefits here of nourishing your body with this practice. Feeling good about this nourishment. And then really nice and slow, one knee at a time. We'll bend the legs here, bringing your feet back on your mat, and just pause with your feet hips width distance. We're going to stay here on our back. Now, think about activating your glutes. So squeeze your butt a little bit. And activate your feet. Push down through your feet. Nice and slowly start to lift your hips up. Take your time, no rush. You're going to bring your hands down to that roll. And you're just going to slide your roll down into your lower back, right above your hips. We're going to get a really nice traction here when we lower back down. Take your time. So lowering your butt back down, you're going to get this curve down the lower back. Feel that roll kind of pulling your hips down away from your torso. Your butt is just relaxing down. If you want, you can even bring your palms to the tops of your thighs and just gently push into the tops of your thighs. Just for a breath or two. Keep your knees bent in this one, at least for the first few rounds of breath. Draw your chin away from your chest again. Make sure your neck is still long. If you want some extra opening in the chest, the shoulders, bring your arms back out into that T shape. Come back to your 2 to 1 breathing. Trying to make your exhales a little bit longer than your inhales. Let your arms relax. Noticing those sensations in the lower back. And now we'll slowly start to roll over onto our left side. Keep that roll where it is. Stay low to the ground. If you need to, pause and rest your head on your hand. Gently push down through our arms, our hands when we're ready. Now we're going to keep our roll on our mat. We're going to do a nice little pose here, laying over the roll. So this is really great for your digestion. It's nice for releasing the muscles in the lower back. It can help to relieve cramps. Obviously, don't do this pose if you're pregnant. So have your roll pretty much where it was. If you have a blanket on your mat, great. You might want that just to have a little extra padding for your face. So we're going to come down onto our forearms into a little Sphinx pose. So you can tuck your toes under, come onto your forearms. Now find that roll in the soft part of your belly. So the roll is below the ribs, but above those little bony kind of hip points. So softest part of your belly. So start out in this Sphinx pose. Your toes are pointing straight back behind you. Your arms are parallel to each other. Your elbows are lining up with your shoulders. Bring those shoulders down, push down through the forearms. You can keep the glutes activated here if your lower back is feeling sensitive today. Now, if your kneecaps are bothering you, you might try keeping the toes tucked under. Sometimes that works for me. Now, feel this out. You might kind of shift your weight side to side. Feel that roll massaging into the belly. So again, this is really great for your digestion. So laying over a roll is supposed to be good for your mood. It's supposed to be a automatic mood booster. We hold a lot of feelings here in the belly. The belly is also an area of the body that we tend to ignore, or we just want to kind of not pay attention to. So it might be an area that we neglect. For some people, they find laying over the roll brings up intense emotions. Sometimes emotions of anger or sadness. So if anything comes up, just know that that's normal. You can try to deepen your breath. If you need a break from the roll while we're doing this, you can always push back into child's pose for a few rounds of breath until you feel ready to lay back over the roll. So here I'm just kind of shifting my weight side to side. Just some nice fluid movement. Feeling this out. Feeling the tight spots. If your psoas is really tight, this might be a nice massage for the psoas as well. Help it to loosen up a bit. So finding some nice movement here if you're comfortable with that. Once you feel comfortable with this roll where it is, and you're feeling a little tired, you can slowly start to bring your upper body down and just rest either cheek. Just find some stillness. Relax the legs and the glutes. Just closing your eyes. We're going to try and hang out here for at least a minute. So, breathing naturally. Nice, slow breath. Still breathing nice and slow. Keeping your roll where it is. Get a little bit deeper. A little massage for the lower back now. You're going to come up onto your forearms. Keep your roll where it was. And you're just simply going to roll onto your right side. Prop your head up with your right hand. You can let your knees bend here. And then if this feels good, you can try just rocking back and forth. So that roll is going to get this nice little massage here in the lower back. So just a nice gentle rock back and forth. You might hang out, kind of leaning back a little bit, depending on where you're tight. A little deeper massage here for those internal organs on the right side. Let yourself sigh out. And then slowly we'll roll back onto the belly and then roll onto your left side. You prop your head up with your left hand. Let your knees bend. You can rock back and forth, massaging into the left side, those organs, into the lower back. Feels really nice. Nice and slow. And then slowly we'll push down to our arms, come back up. We're going to use our roll still, so keep that nearby. Now if you're on a hard surface, hard floor, I definitely recommend padding your knees. So if you have a towel or a blanket, a second towel or blanket, have that opened up so the edges come off of your mat a little bit for under your knees. So we're going to do a little child's pose here with the roll. This is a nice extra massage for the calves, really great for your circulation in the legs. So if your roll is thicker than mine, you're probably definitely going to need to make it a little bit smaller. I'm going to go ahead and even make mine smaller. And what we're doing here is we're bringing our knees wide as your mat, big toes to touch, and you're just bringing that roll as close behind the knees as you can get it, and then sitting down onto that roll. So I'm getting this little extra massage here for the calves. It feels really nice for me. Once you feel comfortable here, you have the roll in the right spot. Just walk your hands forward, just finding a nice little child's pose. So bending your elbows, bringing your forehead down. So let your butt sink down towards the ground. Soften your shoulders away from your ears. Breathe down into your belly. Let your belly poof out. If it feels nice, you can rock your forehead side to side, massaging the forehead on your mat. And then slowly we'll push down to our arms, come back up. So we still have that roll here, sitting down that roll for a little extra massage. Now we're going to move that roll down a few inches, down towards the ankle. Ah, that feels great. Blood circulation, that nice compression in the legs. Your feet are maybe starting to feel a little bit interesting. Let's just relax back down for a few more breaths. This time you can reach your arms further forward. And then slowly walk your hands back towards your knees. Come on up. Let's bring our knees close together. And move your roll for a second. Come up onto your toes. So tuck your toes under. If you can, sit onto your heels. Now we're going to make sure our roll is back into that nice little tight, rolled up position. We're going to use that for the next pose here. So we're just going to come onto our hands and knees. We're going to set up for a little pigeon pose. So let's go ahead and start out with the right knee forward. So I'm bringing my right knee towards my right wrist, and then I'm just propping that right foot forward as much as I can comfortably. You can keep that right foot flexed. So your right knee is down on your mat, and then your left knee is on your mat. You're going to walk your left foot back until this feels like a good stretch for you. So if your butt is really up off the ground, then that roll is going to come in handy. You can just kind of slide it right there underneath you for some nice support. Now you might stay up here for a few rounds of breath. That feels good. And focusing on maybe coming further up, opening in the torso, the upper chest, keeping your shoulders down. A few breaths. Feel your torso extending up away from your hips. And then when you're ready, keep that torso long and come on down. Nice and slow. Rest your head on the backs of your hands. Breathe down into your right hip. Now, if this pose is just not for you today, then try out child's pose instead without the roll. See if that feels better. You're still going to get some nice opening in the hips. Otherwise, just a few more rounds of breath. Breathing down into that right side. And then nice and slow, push down through your arms, your hands. Take your time rolling up. I like to kind of put my weight over onto the right side, and then that way I can swing my legs back around. So we can come back onto our toes. If you want a little stretch again for the bottoms of the feet, move your roll off to the left side so you have it ready. Now we're going to come back down onto our hands and knees. Spread your fingers apart from each other. And start out bringing your left knee towards your left wrist, and then you can kind of flip that left foot forward a little bit. Keep that foot flexed to protect your left knee. Then you can walk your right toes back, staying upright first. Prop your little roll underneath your left side if you need it. Hang out here for just a few breaths, and you're going to feel that nice stretch here in the right side, in the psoas. Open up in the chest, the throat. Feel your torso lengthening up away from your hips. A few breaths here. And then when you're ready, you can lower down nice and slow into your forearms. Untuck your toes if you want, or keep them tucked under. Relax your forehead down, backs of your hands. Soften your shoulders down away from your ears. Notice one hip is probably tighter than the other. Deepen your breath down into the left side, the left hip. Few more rounds of breath. And then slowly push down to your arms, your hands. Come back up. You lean off onto your left side, swing your legs around. And now let's go ahead and move our roll off to the side. We're going to come back into a little tabletop, do a little twist here for the upper body. Come onto your hands and knees. We're going to thread the needle. So we're going to inhale our left arm up and out, and then exhale, you're going to thread that left arm underneath your right. So you're bringing your left shoulder down, left side of your face down. Your right arm, forearm can come forward. Get that nice opening behind the left shoulder blade. Now, you can feel your left side of your face is touching your mat. A little temple right on the left side is maybe touching your mat. If it feels nice, really very slight movement here. You can kind of move your face forward and back. Massage that area, left temple, those pressure points there. Making sure to keep your breath going. And then nice and slow, push down to your right hand, unwind, come back to your tabletop, pause for a moment. We'll do the other side, so we'll inhale the right arm up and out, and exhale, thread that left arm underneath, or that right arm underneath the left arm. Massage out the right temple if you did the other side. Just being mindful here, you're not putting too much pressure on it. Feel that nice twist in the upper body. Nice stretch behind the shoulder blade. And then push down to your left forearm. Unwind. Sit back on your heels for a moment. Now if you had that blanket under your back at the beginning, let's fix that for ourselves. Set it back up for underneath your back. Grab your roll. Place that roll underneath your knees. So make sure this blanket is padding your spine. Your feet can be pretty wide. Take your time lowering down Nice and slow. Maybe hands behind your head. Tuck your shoulder blades under and down the back. Let your arms splay out to the sides. Get out any wiggles you need to. Find some stillness here. This is our final resting pose. Just laying flat on your mat. Feel your knees softening. Feel the heels of your feet sinking into the ground. Unlock the jaw. Let the lips part if they naturally want to. Let your scalp relax over your skull. So your body is starting to become nice and still. You're bringing your awareness to your breath. You're observing it coming in and out through the nose, through the mouth, until it settles into a relaxed and natural rhythm. As you slowly bring your attention to your spine, just visualizing your spine. Feel your spine's internal support extending from the base of the pelvis all the way up through the crown of your head. Allow each gentle breath you take just to encourage a little more space between the vertebrae. Feel it gently elongating your spine. And start to imagine your spine is transforming from its solid structure just into a warm, brilliant ray of light. In the same way you see light passing through a window or through leaves in a tree, just visualizing a ray of warm, sparkling light filling your entire spine. Try and focus on this light infusing all of your body, allowing yourself to become brighter and more radiant. As you just rest here. Still nourishing your body. Keeping your eyes closed. Just glide your lips together. And bend one knee at a time when you're ready. roll over onto your side. And pause there if you need to. Take your time, bring yourself to just a comfortable seat. And once you sit up nice and tall, ground down through your sitting bones. Feel your torso nice and long now. Back of the neck is long. Shoulders are soft. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Thank yourself for this time. And thank you all for joining me in this practice.